On the Mic. On the Mic with your host, Suleiman Al-Zahafi. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of On the Mic with your host, Suleiman Al-Zahafi. Every episode, we have some interesting guests from all around the world coming to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, sharing their lifestyle, sharing their experience, sharing their knowledge from the outside world and their knowledge within the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Every story is unique in its own way. What does that mean? Meaning we have individuals from all around the world, different nationalities, different lifestyle. When I mean lifestyle, people from Europe, people from East Asia, people from the United States, and everywhere and anywhere in between. And today is going to be no different. Today we're going to have a very interesting discussion from an individual who has a background in media, and he's going to tell us about his lifestyle here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and anything and everything what he does in his free time. Our next guest, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to introduce, without further ado, Mr. Zahack Tanvir, joining us for here on the mic. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for joining us.
Wa alaikum assalam. I'm really beholden and thankful to you, Mr. Suleiman, for hosting me over this amazing show, and I look forward to have a great time with you.
We're very excited, and especially, today I feel like you're going to give us a lot of in-depth of what you do, your lifestyle and everything, and it's quite interesting. I feel you, and I'm sure you're wondering why, because life is an experience itself. So learning and listening and witnessing the experience of each individual, it's unique in its own way. There was a saying and a picture I saw in Twitter about a few months ago. They put a photo of a stadium, 50,000 people. And they said every individual has his own story, has his own background, has his own hardship, and has his own positivity in life. That made me gave me a good perspective, realizing that listening to other people's experience and lifestyle and everything like that is quite unique, because you'd be surprised how much you relate and how much different it is, something that I never really thought of that aspect before. So first of all, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, give a little introduction about yourself, who you are, where you're from, what do you do?
Sure, definitely. I'm Zahack Tanvir, and I'm from India's most beautiful and most prestigious city, Hyderabad. I did my schooling there, and then I did my engineering in computer sciences from Osmania University. Then I worked in India's IT giant Infosys. And then I came to Saudi Arabia 10 years ago, and since then I've been working here as an IT consultant. And besides that, I also hold diploma in journalism from London School of Journalism, and I have my newspaper in London. Right now, I'm doing my master's in artificial intelligence from Liverpool John Moore University, UK. So this is all about me.
Oh, wow. So it's very interesting. So you studied in London. And what made you decide to come to Saudi Arabia, to the Middle East?
I can say that I have emotional, social, and ideological reasons to come to Saudi Arabia. As I told you, that I was working in Infosys for a German client in India. So in 2011, I got a call from a top-notch university from Thual. And I had a very lucrative job back home, but my manager also promised me that he would be sending me to Germany. But my family, especially my dad, who worked in Saudi Arabia during 1980s and 1990s, he motivated me a lot, and he advised me that I should try, I should go, and I should visit, I should live in Saudi Arabia, I should experience Saudi Arabia. He was the main motivating factor, and in fact, I also had emotional and social reasons to come to Saudi Arabia. And over the time, after coming to Saudi Arabia, I see that Saudi Arabia is changing rapidly. It's becoming the hub. It's becoming hub of everything. And I'm so honored to be here in Saudi Arabia to witness this massive reformation phase taking place under His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman. And apart from that, when I participated in the AI summit that took place in Riyadh last month, I was taken aback. I was surprised. I was taken aback to see the enormous and magnificent evolution of technology that's taking place in Saudi Arabia. And I hope that this success continues, and I hope that I will also be part of this success story, inshallah.
Inshallah. And I always ask everyone, like, what was your impression of Saudi Arabia before you came, and what was it after?
To be honest, before I came to Saudi Arabia, let me tell you very honestly, I was under impression that Saudi Arabia is not modern. I was under impression that Saudi Arabia is outdated. I was under impression that Saudis they just have oil, they have gold, they have cars, but they relax, they don't work. To be honest, this was my impression before I came to Saudi Arabia. But after coming to Saudi Arabia and working among the Saudis, among the young Saudi, people, young Saudi professionals, my impression has completely changed. And I, in fact, write about it. I, in fact, tell people about this, that this is not the case. I mean, what we have been thinking about it was wrong, and what I experience now is something else.
Okay, so pretty much it's common impression people have all around the world. In Saudi Arabia, they just feel like it's desert camel and oil.
Yeah.
But once you start realizing it and understand the people and everything, this is what I feel like is very important for individuals. Before you make a judgment or an impression of something or stereotyping, read, ask, and learn some more. That's how I tell people.
True.
So I'm very glad, that you give us a little more insights on it, because I feel like the honesty is the best way of communicating. So how long have you been here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
I can say it's been more than 10 years now. I'll tell you something really interesting. I came to Saudi Arabia on a 6-month contract.
Wow.
I had a very lucrative job. I just came here on a 6-month contract. Everyone was telling me not to go, and they told me, like, you have a very good job. Why do you want to try on a 6-month contract? I said, let me go and check there. And now the 6 months has turned into 10 years.
Wow. You never know where the next opportunity is in life. You always got to say yes, huh?
Yeah, obviously.
Indeed. And for you, you were quite surprised and everything. You obviously been here for 10 years. There's many aspects I'm sure surprised you. And there's many individuals, they have different type of surprise coming to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, something unique, something special to them. I think, what was the surprise factor for you? What's something that surprised you when coming and visiting Saudi Arabia?
Well, to be honest, the thing which surprises me the most, which actually is fascinating, is the phenomena. Is the cohesion, or you can say the collaboration of the top leadership of Saudi Arabia and the people. These two entities, the leadership and the people, are so well connected. They just go hand in hand so smoothly. This is something that really surprises me. This is not the case around the world. This is something, I believe, this is something very unique. This is something very fascinating. This is something which should surprise everyone. And apart from that, what surprises me is the transformation of the deserts and the dry lands into the massive infrastructure with the glassy skyscrapers in Riyadh, in the Neom. I mean, the things are changing so fast. And, the way it's changing is really, commendable.
Okay, so that's definitely was an interesting surprise for you. Obviously, you've been here for 10 years, so a lot of things have been changing. It was a surprise for even the Saudi individuals, because 70% are 30 years old and below. That's a major population. That's the future population. What changes have you witnessed in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia in your period of 10 years? Before 2030 and, of course, after 2030?
Yeah. I have witnessed positive changes in Saudi Arabia. I have seen economical reforms. I have seen, especially the women empowerment. Women empowerment is something that is really commendable. And I have also witnessed the change in the Saudi Arabia's attitude in combating extremism, and Saudi Arabia's attitude in pushing the moderate Islam narrative. This is really nice. And the paradigm shift that is taking place in the kingdom. The current leadership of Saudi Arabia has changed the world, has changed the way the world used to look at Saudi Arabia, has changed the way the world used to talk about Saudi Arabia, the way the world would mention the name of Saudi Arabia. This has changed. And as an outsider, as an expat, I see Vision 2030 as a beneficial model, not only for the Arabs, not only for the Saudis, but I feel it's a global beneficial model. And all the skilled laborers can come here. They can settle. They can have a better lifestyle. They can have a secure and a peaceful environment. They can have a bright and optimistic future. Further, I would say one of the biggest changes I witness here is the inclusion of women workforce in all sectors. It's really nice to see women can drive now. They can even be the police officers. They are even ambassadors. That's really fascinating. They are even ambassadors. Princess Rima bint Banda, she is the Saudi ambassador to the U.S.
Indeed, yeah.
And also the presence of women in universities, in corporate offices, in media, even in army and security. In Haramain, the women are in security. So this is something really, really, great. Further, I would say that the education system has also changed. The Saudi schools have included English language. They are now aligning with the international standards and international methods. And by the way, let me also mention that when our Indian ambassador, Dr. Asaf Saeed, he was leaving Kingdom in March 2022, I attended his farewell in Riyadh. And during his speech, he said that India and Saudi Arabia are collaborating to launch the top IIT institute in the Kingdom.
Wow.
So, that's really great. To some, I would say that Saudi Arabia is going through a great change, and everyone will gonna benefit from this.
Indeed, it's like, when you have mutual cooperation, you're able to achieve more.
True, that's true.
Indeed. And for you in general, like, you've lived in the UK, you have a background that your grandfather asked you to come to Saudi Arabia. But how do you see the Saudi people from your eyes? How do you see the people, how they react? How do you see the community here?
The Saudi community, in general, Saudis are very friendly people. They are very helping. They are very matured. I should say they are matured, who adapt very fast with the change. They aren't stubborn. They don't stick to the medieval rules. They don't impose their opinions on others. They are very friendly. They understand your opinion. They respect your opinion. I believe for this reason, Saudi Arabia got the 25th position in the World Happiness Index this year. I think it was released by UN in March 2022. So Saudi Arabia got the 25th position there. The Saudis in general are least bothersome. They don't poke in your issues. They don't meddle into your affairs. They don't impose their opinions. If you're stuck up in a problem, if you're on a highway or if you're stuck up in a problem, then they come to your rescue without any materialistic reasons. I mean, they don't expect anything in return, and they just help you out and they say ma salama and they leave. This is really nice, and they are generous in charities. And they, I'm not trying to flatter, but this is the honest, understanding what I have about Saudis, that they don't usually boast about their deeds. They don't just show off. They don't say that I did this, I did that, I did this. So this is something which I have noticed and which I try to, highlight in my articles, in my thoughts to the people that, we have to learn from this.
Indeed. So my next question leads me into the next questions. Like, how do people from your country see Saudi Arabia? We know how you see it, but from individuals from your country, what is their perspective of Saudi Arabia? What do they know about Saudi Arabia? What do they understand about it?
True. People from my country, India, they see Saudi Arabia in a very positive way. They look up at Saudis with respect, with reverence. In fact, I had a face-to-face discussion with a lot of Indians and Indian think tanks. So when they mention about Saudi Arabia and His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman, they always mention it with admiration. They always mention it with respect. This may be because of the fact that there are a lot of Indians working in Saudi Arabia, and a lot of remittances happen from Saudi Arabia to India, and Saudi Arabia has been a major economical factor for India. This can be one of the reasons why they respect Saudi Arabia. And another reason for that is Saudi Arabia has also invested in India. Now, there are a lot of investments in India. And apart from that, Indian leadership and the Saudi leadership are very close. They work hand in hand. So maybe because of this reason, Indians, look up at Saudis with respect and reverence.
Indeed, it's very good to hear that. It's very unfortunate. Some people, they in the media, unfortunately,
Mm.
they have the wrong impression of Saudi Arabia, and I'm glad that the right impression is slowly and surely becoming more obvious for individuals. Because some of the Western media, they just unfortunately they spread false rumors and just fear.
True.
So
True.
this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
this is very unfortunate. At the end, they're after the ratings, unfortunately. But
Yes.
we'll
Yes.
stay on the
Exactly.
lighter note. I always want to ask individuals that are not Saudis or Arabs. Have you ever worn the
Mhm.
khotra or the igal? And how was it, if you did?
Yeah. Okay, I got you. Yes, I did when I first came to Jeddah. I used to wear and roam around in the public without any hesitation, without any shyness. I just used to wear that. In fact, there was an aqiqah ceremony hosted by one of my friends in Jeddah, and I attended it wearing ghutra and igal. And those were my early days. I really enjoyed that, and public used to respect me. But over the time, to be honest, I feel more like it represents Saudi nationality, and it means that you are Saudi. So, casually wearing it at some occasions may look good, but wearing it all the time will give you a wrong impression. But yes, I really enjoyed it, and I enjoy wearing it.
Okay, this is something interesting because I know many individuals. They come to the Middle East and they try it. They may not wear it right, but this is fine. I feel like it's just the experience of it.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something. Like you've been to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, you've stayed here for 10 years now. Where have you visited? What was your experience? What's your favorite place to visit?
My favorite place to visit yeah, I visited a lot of places in Saudi Arabia, but I do have some of the places where I wish to visit in future, inshallah. I love to visit Neom, and I love to visit Al Ula. I haven't been there, so I heard a lot about it, and many of my friends have been there, and they told that these places are scintillating, and you have to visit there. So I do have. It's on my wish list. Maybe I'll go there with my parents once they are here. So I would take them too.
Okay, that's very those new regions you mentioned. Al Ula is already developed. It's been developed more and more and more.
Yeah,
But yeah, a lot of people said the same thing. They're very interested to visit the new areas and see where it goes, because at the end it's very interesting to see the development. A city coming out of nothing in the middle of nowhere is quite
exactly,
interesting.
exactly. Yes,
People
that's
take it for granted, the little things you can do in life.
yes, that's true.
Indeed. So moving on is like your experience is quite interesting. You've been here for a while. You've done a lot of things, and it was like kind of on the whim of what you've done. What and where, like for you individual, you come here. What was your favorite place, and where was it of what to eat? What was your favorite dish?
My favorite dish here in Saudi is the walima.
Oh,
Every Friday I visit some of the branded restaurants with my kids and my wife. We go there, we enjoy matfoum, walima, faham, and we also enjoy, kunafa. I mean, these are some of the patent dishes we have on Fridays, and I cherish every single moment I spent in Saudi Arabia. Um, I also remember my holiday trip, which I had to Al Abha in August. We literally drove above the clouds. We drove through the craziest roads of Al Sauda mountains. And, the hotel we took, it was so close to the mountain cliff that, we could see the clouds. We could feel the clouds, and we could feel that landscape. Amazing memory, amazing place. I mean, the temperature here in the Dammam and Riyadh was like 42, and in Abha it was 10, 11. And Abha is really, really amazing place. I cherish every single moment I spent in Al Abha.
I think you just like the cool air and the high elevation kind of.
Yeah,
Some people that
yeah,
they're not aware that if you have a little health complication like blood pressure or something like that, it affects you. But if you're healthy in aspect like that, it's a beautiful
mm,
scenery. And some people they don't even use ACs. There's no air
aces, yeah,
conditions whatsoever. So people are surprised. Saudi Arabia has a mountainous and beautiful landscape. It's all green. So yeah,
All
I,
green,
I
yes.
feel like for Saudis, us for ourselves, we take for granted what we have in our backyard. It
True,
comes to the beauty and the perspective of someone from outside Saudi Arabia to really remind us of the beauty that we have and the opportunities we have here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia.
true, true, true.
So pretty much, you've done a lot of things, but for you, the things you've done, you and your family. But what do you do with your friends? What do you enjoy doing with your friends?
Well, I'm kind of, I'm kind of person who always discuss about current affairs and the political issues. So when I meet my friends, I always talk about this. In fact, I spend whole night talking to them about it. We go to hotels, we enjoy, at the restaurants. Last night we went to a hotel. We had this Arabic food, and we talked, we discussed, we enjoyed the place. So this is what I do with my friends when I meet them.
Okay, so you like to hang out and
Yeah, hang out. Yeah, yeah.
okay, that's very interesting. And like, what is your favorite activities in general? Like, do you guys, you have like a rest area or specific restaurant or cafe? Because I feel like with every group, there's something specific they like to do regularly.
Yeah, we do visit cafes. We go to the coffee shops. We find it very comfortable, cozy. So we visit there, enjoy the place, eat some cakes, have some coffee. Amazing experience.
But for me, it's like I always tell myself and my friends, like, be careful. Those extra cup of coffees and cakes kind of gets to you. That's why when we wear thobes, we forget how much we gain. We like to
Yeah,
eat
yeah.
and enjoy. But
Yeah,
always
it's
we have
okay.
to
We
make
can go to
sure
the gym. Yeah,
we take care of our health also.
yeah, that's true.
So pretty much that's what you do with friends. What about you? What's your leisure time? What's your downtime? What is your quiet time or your favorite thing to do to kind of de-stress from the busy week?
Yeah, yeah. I love to drive with my family. I take my wife, my kids to the Cornish, usually in the Saturday mornings after Fajr, because that's the time when we don't find many people at the Cornish. So sitting at the Cornish, watching the sea, watching the ocean, and sometimes I drive to Riyadh. I love to drive with the hot mocha, taking from the gas stations and driving on the highways, enjoying the sips, and watching the weather, watching the scenery, and watching the desert on the way. So this is something I really do for de-stressing.
So you're like a scenery type of person. The simple things in life is what really helps you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, that's very interesting. For me, it's like I had the same individuals. They say the most creative people are the ones that they like the simplest thing to relax and enjoy and just do something so simple and yet it's so calming. So I can see you have a creative mentality also about your life.
Thank
Very
you. Thank you.
interesting.
I wish to be. Yeah.
No, trust me. We all do. We all say we're not, but we are. We end up doing that somehow. So tell us more about what's your future ambitions in life.
My future ambition, like and everybody one has, owns, to become super rich, and and to be honest, the jokes apart, I want to establish myself as a very stable and a wise man. I want to help people. I want to bridge gaps between multiple faiths and multiple cultures. I want to be like a mediator. I want to help people talk to each other. I want them to talk through me. I want to connect people. And in fact, I love engaging with people of different faiths and religions. I engage with them over Zoom. I talk to them, understand their concerns, their reservations, and I try to clear the cobwebs, the confusions. And this is what I love